With the recent release of Quiet on Set on HBO Max, talking about all the little crazy stuff going on within Nickelodeon and the little bit of Disney Channel because of Brian Peck, I figured this would be the perfect opportunity to react to this video from Patrick CC. How Zack and Cody escaped from Disney. They are never coming back. Now I'm pretty sure every child star that went through Disney, that went through their fair share of trouble, isn't coming back. But I want to hear what these two specifically went through, because the moment, I don't know if anyone's seen the Quiet on Set documentary, but when they mentioned that Brian Peck was taken out of jail, like when he got out of jail over all the stuff that he did to Drake, and then instantly got hired for Zack and Cody, I already knew. I was like, hang on, I grew up on that too. I need to see what happened on that end as well. So we're gonna get into it today. Let me know if there's anything in the comments you want me to react to next. And if you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe, and yeah, let's just get into it.
It's far
See,
too common that
see what they did to our boys.
child stars struggle adapting to a more normal life after television fame, mostly because of the pressure enforced on them at such a young age, plus all their flaws, successes, and failures. It's far too common that child stars struggle adapting to a more normal life after television fame, mostly because of the pressure enforced on them at such a young
Oh
age,
god.
plus all their flaws, successes, and
Oh
failures
shit.
publicized to millions of people. Dylan Sprouse and Cole Sprouse are two identical twins that had wildly successful careers that started when they were just 8 months old. We know that Disney actors are often overworked, develop emotional trauma, and have a hard time getting away from the label of child star. Even at a young age, the twins realized this and started their master plan to capitalize on the rewards of being a Disney star, only to escape and leave their past behind them forever.
Oh
They
man,
turned
look at Dylan.
Disney
He
star,
looks like a
only to
whole
escape.
another. Yeah, they still look alike, but like they don't even look like twins anymore. Low key, Dylan looks like a whole grown man, and Cole still got that baby face. But hey, shit, the video ain't about that, so let's just get back to it.
Pass behind them forever. Make sure you're hydrated while watching this video. Dylan and Cole Sprouse are the 30-year-old twins mostly known for their two
Gotcha.
major hit Disney TV shows, The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, and the sequel, Sweet Life on Deck. But before they did that, they had some other pretty major accomplishments. They starred as Julian in Big Daddy,
Yup.
played Ross's son on Friends, voice
Oh
acted
man,
in 8 Crazy Nights, as well as a ton of different TV.
who did they play in Eight Crazy Nights? What the hell? I haven't seen that movie in so long. No fucking way. They're the toy soldiers in front of him? Okay, let me see. Oh shit! Oh, what the? Oh, they got me off guard. Oh man, that's funny as hell. I didn't even know that was them.
Roles and direct-to-video films. Not only were the two adorable and talented actors, but being identical twins gave them an advantage. It allowed Hollywood producers to cast them as the same person. Child labor laws prevent actors under 18 from being overworked. When Cole was done shooting a scene, Dylan would step in to do the other, and they would trade off. And producers were able to get double the work out of essentially one kid.
Oh,
2005,
okay.
The Sweet Life
I was wondering how they did that with
aged
the
well
Olsen
over a year.
twins, because just like in Full House, it was just one baby, but it was both twins playing that baby, or at least that's what I thought it was. So that makes sense, with the child labor laws and all. Yeah, you don't want to get sued and all that. So making them play the same character, just like in Big Daddy, yeah, makes sense.
Ended up writing
But I wonder how much time like split between the two of them. Like which scenes that I see that were like the most iconic to me for certain movies or shows, that it was like this specific kid was Zack playing them, or oh, this one was Cody. So who knows? Or Dylan or Cole. Y'all know what I mean. Y'all know what the fuck I mean.
the show, always dreamed of doing his version of Eloise at the Plaza, which was a family film about a sweet but mischievous 6-year-old who lives in the Plaza Hotel in New York City. He actually wrote the idea of the show 2 times and tried to sell it to different networks. When he approached the Disney Channel, they actually said to him, "Here's 2 twins. What can you build around them?" He wrote the idea for The Sweet Life for the 3rd time, and it got picked up. The Sweet
That
Life
sounds about right coming from Disney. Hey, here, take this, deal with it, work with what we got.
Zack and Cody was about two twin boys who live at the five-star Tipton Hotel because their mother was an employed singer who performed in the lounge multiple times per week. While she was working or sleeping, the boys would find themselves getting into all kinds of predicaments that they had to work with the more mature, nerdy, and gentle twin, exactly the same as Drake and Josh. But what's funny is, Dylan and Cole ended up being very similar to their roles on the show in real life. The boys had amazing
Oh
chemistry together
shit.
because they were one, actually brothers, and two, had been working since before they had conscious thoughts. The show also followed the hotel
Okay.
owner's daughter, London Tipton, played by Brenda Song, who was a parody character of Paris Hilton. She was scatterbrained,
Oh, that
rich,
makes
and
sense.
solely focused on boys and fashion, as well as the candy counter employee, Maddie, who was hardworking and intelligent. One thing I gotta give the show mild props for is that they reversed the nerdy, smart Asian and dumb blonde stereotype.
I was just about to say that too. I was like, this was probably the only show I remember seeing that they had a dumb Asian and a smart blonde. And the blonde, she also happened to be poor. The Asian lady was like basically this Paris Hilton carbon copy. So it was actually really cool to see that as a kid, seeing all that mixed around. But shit, there's only so much you can do with that.
Mr. Mosby was the nervous hotel manager who would often try to ruin Zack and Cody's fun. He was like a father figure to them as well. When The Sweet Life aired in
Mr. Mosby.
2005, it was the most successful premiere in Disney Channel history. It was nominated for 3 Emmys and is wildly loved by fans. These two were living the dream life kids like myself around the world wanted so bad. Plus, if you watch interviews from around this time, they were infectious. They were so lovable.
Yeah, they made living in a hotel look like a dream. Like even I was like, oh hell yeah, I want to be in a hotel like that, or I want to be on a ship like in Sweet Life on Deck. They did kind of glamorize a lot of that stuff, but I mean, it was more so the twins. They brought that place to life because it's just an empty set at the end of the day,
Have girlfriends? No, we are single men.
What the? Oh god. Why are the ladies in there cheering like that? Those are some grown ass women acting like that. No offense.
We're looking for a
So they came up with a sequel in 2008, The Sweet Life on Deck. Before they started a new show, they had a gap year. So Dylan and Cole actually got jobs at a comic book store called Meltdown in LA. Most of what they did
Okay.
was packaging, putting the comic books in the little sleeves. But their father always taught them that they can't get wrapped up in celebrity status. The 16-year-olds were
Gotta
kids
say
just
her.
like everybody else, and that they needed some balance in their life. The boys picked up hobbies. Cole started his journey into photography, and Dylan got into drinking alcohol.
Oh,
That was
no.
his next passion. But filming was about to start again, and it was time
Oh,
for a new
no.
comic book store. The Sweet Life on Deck airs in 2008 to over 5 million viewers. Now they were on the SS Tipton, which was a cruise ship that they lived on, which created tons of new opportunity for them to get in trouble. None of the characters developed much over time. Cody stayed the soft, innocent.
Another thing about this show is I used to live like in Eureka, like California, and when I moved out to the Bay, and I was seeing all the stuff like Sweet Life on Deck, where Zach and Cody were older now on a whole new show on a boat. And then Ben 10, for example, wasn't a kid anymore. He was a teenager with Kevin and Gwen. I was just like, I felt like I stepped through a time hole or something, or a fucking wormhole, sorry. Just because I was like, where did my sense of time go? When did they suddenly go from this to this? You know what I'm saying? But I was here for all of it. I was locked in, watching every single episode on demand. Like, hang on, I gotta get caught up on this because by the time I became aware of everything, they were probably on season 2 of Sweet Life on Deck. Probably like 30, 40 episodes into Ben 10 Alien Force, and everybody was talking about Naruto. That was just the thing when I was in middle school.
Dork, and Zack stayed the selfish jock. But we were growing up with them. We even watched Cody have to deal with his voice cracking, and the boys looking for their first armpit hairs. They were like the little brothers we always wanted. The 2 shows ran from 2005 to 2011, 168 episodes plus.
God.
This was technically the longest running live action show if you combine them. Fans loved the sequel.
Okay.
Some people even thought it was better than the original. I personally think the original was better, but we can fight it out in the comments. Naturally, like all shows.
Why not both? I love them both. I couldn't really put one or the other. I couldn't put one over the other because it was still the same characters. No matter how tall they got, even though the mom was gone and they introduced, we had Bailey in there instead of Maddie. London was still there, of course, but it still felt like a very good show for me to watch. I enjoyed it. But if I had to choose between that and Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, I'm not gonna lie, I might have to go with the OG on that one too. No offense, just can't beat some of those episodes. But one thing I will say is, I definitely related more to Sweet Life on Deck to some of those episodes because they were around my age range. I mean, when I was watching Sweet Life with Zack and Cody, it was around the same. I was like the same age as them, damn near anyway. But seeing like all the stuff that they went through, I was like, I mean, we can't relate. Like, not too much on certain things. I still love the show, but it was like, okay, this is clearly some, fantasy, some fantasy La La Land. They would have been got kicked out of that hotel. No offense, they would have got kicked out of that hotel a long time ago. But yeah, nah, you weren't supposed to think that hard into shows like this anyway. But definitely think I like the OG or Sweet Life of Zack and Cody over Sweet Life on Deck.
Depend on children, they can only last so long. Dylan and Cole were now 18 and look vastly different than when they started. But the truth is, they didn't want the Sweet Life to end as abruptly as it did. The twins wanted to produce and direct one more season of The Sweet Life. They came up with an idea where they graduate high school, move off the ship, and go back to Boston. In their downtime at college, they would meet a single dad with a child at the hotel. Zack and Cody would kind of raise the boy up like a little brother, showing him all the crazy stuff in the hotel, leading him into wacky situations. The final season could have been the perfect way to transition into a whole new show based around the young boy. Cole said that the goal of this was to transition them out of the show. That way the cast and crew didn't have to lose their jobs that they had for the past 6 years. Disney executives laughed in their faces for the idea they came up with, which led to a 5-year hiatus in acting.
Are you serious, bro? What? What's wrong with that idea? That would have been a great idea. Better than doing the movie that they made and then ending everything off like, nah, what the hell?
Here you will see a photo of Dylan Sprouse working as a host in a New York City restaurant, just 2 years after the Disney Channel, which led to multiple assumptions that he was broke.
But when you see a picture of a guy who has made, presumably, and I'm making a presumption here, a lot of money off of a television series and that he's working in a restaurant, wouldn't that be a reasonable conclusion?
I mean, I definitely think that that's in mind.
You see, I'm not even trying to cut off Dylan because he's probably going to say what I'm about to say anyway. But that doesn't make sense, especially if he's an actor. I've heard a few stories about actors, taking on small jobs here and there just to kind of get themselves into that mindset of the character. You can't just suddenly, not everyone is gifted to be able to just read the script and then suddenly find the character and boom, have the mannerisms and everything down. So say he's playing like, a restaurant, owner of a restaurant or like a manager or, their host or goddamn whatever job in the restaurant. Why wouldn't he want to actually go there, work there for, some time and kind of just get a feel of the environment and how the people interact with each other on a day-to-day, how they move, how they talk, But I don't know. That's just me. That's why when I see stuff like that, it's like, is it really because money was an issue or because, the acting just plummeted? Because look at people like, look at Bridget Mendler, for example, She's got a PhD. She's doing well off without acting. So does that really even mean anything? Because he's still making money. So I don't get that. But we'll see what they got to say.
Although it is negative, it's just a negative way to think for the most part. People can work jobs like that for experience, and I think that's kind of the way I targeted it.
If I didn't know anything about the Sprouse twins, I would have assumed the same thing. But what you will notice in the rest of this video is that the boys, mostly Dylan, have done a lot to escape their previous lives. They both got accepted to New York University and decided to dorm with everyone else and go to college full time. Dylan was majoring in video game design and was something of a video game addict. Cole was an archaeology student, majoring in geographical information systems. He traveled all over the world through their program and then made a big discovery. Cole unearthed a mask of Dionysius in Bulgaria. They both were quite literally just normal college kids from 2000.
Bro, they're doing so better off without acting. Like, they are their characters, which is funny. I'm like, an archaeologist for Cole? Yeah, that makes sense, considering how nerdy Cody was. Oh, shit. Who's Naruto? Is that Dylan? That's hella funny.
2011 to 2014. focused on their studies and working side jobs in their free time. This type of normality most definitely prevented them from ending up like countless other child celebrities. Child stars face a lot of pressure to immediately get an adult acting role or start a music career. Whatever it is, if they don't outdo Disney or Nickelodeon, it seems like a step down because they have millions of fans that want them to still be their 13-year-old selves. When you get into your 20s, you just want to move on. The pressure ends up eating them alive and they make mistakes. Then it's
Yeah.
highly publicized, which compounds the initial problem. So instead of going down the dark Hollywood path,
I'm gonna give you my number one tip.
Get out of here.
twins did the exact opposite. Let's fully step away from this. We can't be
Okay.
compared to our old roles if we aren't doing anything at all. They did stay popular on Twitter and social media and would let the jokes fly. Oh, I get it, Selena. Too good to follow your old pals, Dylan and Cole, huh? This is just like when we were 12. Cole started an Instagram page called Camera Duels, where he would post pictures of people that were trying to secretly take pictures of him, accompanied with comically long captions of him critiquing their strategies. The only scandals or controversies they got in were pretty mild. Dylan took lewd pictures of himself that leaked.
Ew. Wait, this is a crazy pause. Give me a
Because of
second.
this, he gained hundreds of thousands of
Okay. I was wondering why, because I follow both of them on Instagram, why they never really post anything. Even when everybody was like going crazy over the date for when they had that restaurant reservation and everything in the show, they were all going crazy commenting on all their posts like, oh, it's almost a day, yada yada yada. Even the lady, the actress who, you know, worked at the restaurant for the show and gave them their reservation, the hostess, even she responded to all of that and, you know, kind of played along with it, but they were like silent, so maybe that's why.
helped him. Then Cole started a Tumblr social experiment that legitimately made some of his fans turn on him, where he pretended to be himself in order to get fans to engage with him. While
What?
they were engaging, he was writing deep and philosophical paragraphs on why their perception of him is flawed. Then after 1 month, he deleted his account, told everyone it was a social experiment, and basically made fun of them for idolizing him and engaging. Kind of a
What?
deep thing. Like I said before, Cole and Dylan are a lot like Cody and Zack. Cole is the philosophical, poetic, artsy boy who thinks super deeply about everything. Dylan, while still being artsy and well-educated, likes to slam beers with the bros and have a good time. We get it, you're Dylan Sprouse, and you're livid about games and journalism. Even
Right,
though you
right.
can't fight me IRL. Catch these hands? We are as the sun. The rays come bearing to our soft-spoken souls, dancing torpidly upon the frail shudder of angst. Your Insta.
Oh
Discovered
shit.
his love for alcohol at age 16. Due to his love for history, he became interested in the ancient alcoholic beverage mead, which apparently is the oldest alcohol ever that can be traced back 8,000 years. It's a fermented beverage made of honey, water, and yeast. During his college years, he would practice making his own mead. Some batches were good, some were terrible. But no matter what, he and his roommate Matt got drunk. When Dylan graduated college, he was taking some acting gigs.
There we
He
go.
had more
Dismissed. If y'all haven't seen Dismissed already,
When
Dylan
Dylan
killed
graduated
that.
college, he was
Dylan killed this movie, bro. He was a straight A student, like honor roll, yada yada. Who I think like gets a small like downgrade, like to I think he gets like a lower score than normal, and he just loses it. It's a really good movie. If you haven't checked it out already, it's on Netflix. Definitely recommend it. That's something like post Disney, because I know Cole went to do Riverdale for a few seasons, or for a few years, aside from all the school stuff. But yeah, Dismissed, Dylan killed that shit.
taking some acting gigs, but he had more free time and wanted to pick up a hobby. Since he was passionate about brewing, he got an internship at a distillery called Kings County in Brooklyn. Working there
Okay.
and getting immersed into this world made him realize how badly he wanted to pursue this hobby into something bigger. The All-Wise Meadery was born, which is his Brooklyn meadery where he actually makes the alcohol himself. A lot
Oh
of people in
shit.
the brewing community doubted Dylan. They thought he was a privileged actor boy who grew up with everything and wanted to take over their hard-earned reputation. They didn't realize how passionate he was and how much respect he had for mead and brewing. Plus,
Bro, that's a dub right there. He took it seriously. I thought this was gonna be some type of like, oh shit, he became an alcoholic, like just went downhill, yada yada yada, on some bummy shit. But he took that hobby and found a way to improve it, to make money off of it. So I can't even fret, man. Like that's genius right there.
he had a lot of people just saying he was another celebrity endorsing a product. Like he didn't care for it. It was just for money.
I have to explain a lot that I'm actually brewing it, right? I have to explain a lot that these are my recipes. I have to explain a lot to people that this is my business and I'm here every day I can be. That comes as a surprise to a lot of people.
It's kind of wild to see someone go for a much more humble job serving the local community rather than chasing Hollywood fame. Cole, on the other hand, was pursuing his photography career. Not so much for money, but rather the art. One day he asked Traveler magazine if he could work on a piece for them. They said yes, but not for money, since they had no idea he did anything outside of the Disney Channel. So Cole took a 3-day train from the West Coast to the East Coast and documented the process. They ended up publishing his article digitally. While this isn't some massive success story, it just shows the boys were trying to broaden their horizons with the luxury of not needing big paychecks. He would go on to be a respected photographer and get some of his pieces published in high-profile magazines. But Cole would ultimately get back into acting. In 2017, he got a consistent role on the wildly successful teen drama show Riverdale, which has been running for 7 seasons, as well as lead roles in the movies 5 Feet Apart and Moonshot. I definitely see Cole pursuing more large acting gigs in his career. Dylan did also get back into acting in 2017. His team suggested that he shoot for lead roles in big projects like his brother, but he prefers small indie films and wanted to participate on good projects regardless of the character size or depth.
Oh, we got to get bro on A24. A24, if you haven't reached out to Dylan Sprouse, y'all need to, because he's trying to get the smaller companies up there. I know y'all not tiny, but smaller than something like Lionsgate. What was it, 20th Century Fox? I can't remember word for word. But you got all these different publishers out there, these big production companies. So he seems like he's really passionate about what he's doing, his craft. Definitely got to get him, Robert Pattinson, and probably Willem Dafoe all in the movie. I don't know what the plot would be, but I just know that would be crazy.
Still spends a lot of his time focusing on video games. He's extremely immersed in Dungeons & Dragons and offers his help with indie game developers. He even recently released his own comic book called Sunny.
Bro,
My
what?
and I used to get quite a bit of, oh, you made it out. Oh, you're unscathed. No. The young women on the channel we were on were so heavily sexualized from such an earlier age than my brother and I that there's absolutely no way that we could compare our experiences. Cole has been vehemently against child stars getting criticized for their downward spirals, because there are mostly women being targeted and the public doesn't seem to understand the difficulty of being a child star or what goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's fair. Especially being a little girl with all these grown men writing these sick, disgusting lines for you. Fucking Dan Schneider, having you wiggle your toes on the screen and shit like that. So definitely all these, random people on the internet, they can't speak on that because they've never lived that. I've never lived that. So even I technically can't even speak on it. But I know for a fact, I have that awareness, most people just speak and talk out of their butt. So it's good to see that Dylan and Cole were at least trying to stand up for their child stars. For their for their co-stars. Sorry.
Put their 1-year-olds to work. This sounds like a recipe for disaster, but it seems as if their parents instilled the right values in them to maintain balance as a celebrity. Some people believe Disney exhausts and overworks children for our entertainment. Cole says that they didn't suffer as much trauma since they were boys, which could be very true. I also believe that stepping away from the spotlight and pursuing something normal was the key to them maintaining their sanity and integrity. Although they look back on their past fondly and came out unscathed, we will never get a Sweet Life of Zack and Cody reboot.
Asked all the time if Dylan and I are going to do a Sweet Life reboot, and I go, no, absolutely not.
Honestly, confidently, no. No, I don't think that we will.
Okay. I love that answer from the both of them. Sweet Life of Zack and Cody is perfect the way it is. They just need to leave it at that. We don't need any reboots. We don't need another sequel series, since they weren't trying to let them they weren't trying to let them direct that final season anyway, with the idea that they had in mind. So yeah, I don't see why they would waste their time going back if they were just, disrespected. they know their worth. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, like usual, Patrick CC did not disappoint. Dylan and Cole are doing better off without Disney Channel. I'm looking forward to any other future projects from them. I haven't seen Banana Split, so who knows? I might even just react to that on the channel. But yep, till next time, like, share, subscribe, comment if you haven't already. And until next time, it's always a good day for your boy, Luka Bay.